Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good morning. Today I will try to I'm trying. Okay, I tried to create a video where I can explain to you about the lesson that you will learn for today, and today we still focus on sentence, but it's not like that I will tell you again about noun clause and dependent clause, but maybe I will show you some tips maybe, or let's say small hints, or it's not like about theory but more practical. Okay, there were some points, some chapters for today, but let's start with this one, using verbs to create strong writing. So in this lesson, it will focus on the verbs, whether it's in the form of passive or active voice, and then whether it's how to use their, it, and about be. Okay, let's just see the material right away. So the first one in this file, it will give you a comparison between paragraph 1 and paragraph 2. So you will see and you will try to judge by yourself which one is better, whether it's the paragraph 1 or the paragraph 2. So for example, let me take the shorter one. So here, the second one. A gasp was made by my mother, a laugh was emitted by my father, and my head was shaken by me. Here you can see that this sentence was started with, let me change the, okay. So here you see that the sentence pattern, there is be, and then there is verb 3, and then there is by. So this is the characteristic of passive voice. Okay, while in the paragraph 2 part, table, row, whatever you say, it is said my mother gasped, my father laughed, and I just shook my head. So these two sentences have same meaning. The difference is just the form of the sentence. So one is written in passive form and the second one is written in active form. So in the following the explanation, you will see the difference between these these two different forms, and you will see where to use better. Okay, so but for this example, I think you can see by yourself that the second sentence is better. Besides it is short, it is also clear who did the action. Okay, so it's the focus is not apa ya? It's not a verb, but it's the focus is who did the verb. That's why you need to make it in active form, not in a passive form. Okay, so it's simpler to say my mother gasps, my mother gasped, my mother laughed, my father laughed, and I just shook my head. It's more simple, it's more clear than you say a gasp was made by my mother, blah, blah, blah. It's too long, and the focus of the sentence is not clear. Okay, because you put the subject, you put someone who did the verb at the end. You can read it by yourself here. I have put some highlight. So when the subject of a sentence performs the action of the verb, we say the sentence is active. Write using active verbs to make your writing more conversational and interesting. Okay, so that's when you use active voice. While so here in the example, the clerk opens the mall. The mall is opened by the clerk. Of course, you will see that the first sentence is better because you know who opened the clerk. Okay, this is one of practice, and you see that both options. So one option is passive, one option is active. It is just you are just instructed to find the active voice. So I guess it's not that difficult. Just find a sentence that has not written in the pattern of passive voice. I remind you again that passive voice pattern is started with be and then verb 3, and then if there is someone who do the verb, then you will probably see the word the preposition by. Okay, just like what you saw at the beginning. Okay? Or just like in this sentence. So there's by here. Okay, right? Not passive sentence will have this one. Okay, let's move to when you use passive voice. So here you will see that there are some points when you can use passive voice. The first one, when the object is more important than the agent or of of action, or the doer. Not exactly how to pronounce that, but and then when the agent of action is a noun or secret, like yeah, like it's a secret. Like it was reported that First State Bank was robbed. You don't know who did that, so it's better to use passive voice. Okay, and then when passive voice results in shorter sentences without detracting from the meaning. So if you can make a shorter passive form without change the meaning, without change the meaning, then we can use passive voice. Okay, but here but yeah, it's rarely happen, but it may happen sometimes. So for example, here you can see the police apprehended Axel, the detectives interrogated him, and the grand jury indicted him. It can be changed because you know that here we know the subject is the same person. Okay, it's Axel, him, and him. It's the same person, so it can be simplified into a passive one. So Axel was apprehended, interrogated, and indicted. So it's more simple. Okay. The next one is other life-draining verb construction. Um, I think you can read it by yourself here. Um, I want to focus on this one because this is most these are what students mostly use in their sentence. It's the use of there. So there are, there is. It's because you are influenced by the meaning of the word there in Indonesian. Jadi ada, misalnya ada tiga cara ya gitu. So there are three ways to improve blah blah. Padahal bisa you can just eliminate the word there in that sentence. You can just say three ways to improve writing skills are, without you saying there are three ways to improve writing skills. Okay. Yeah, again, it's because we are influenced by our first language, where we always say ada. Okay, ada tiga cara, ada 10 orang yang hadir, ya ya kayak gitu pokoknya. Ya, you are I remember my supervisor told me about this one when I wrote my thesis. So I showed him that, sir, prof, this is my proposal. Please check it. And when he read my sentences, he kept saying, "Why do you keep using there are, there are? You can just eliminate it." That's what he told me, and I still remember it until now. And yes, that are, and when I teach, I realize that this habit doesn't happen only to me. Okay, it doesn't exist only on me to me, but it exists. Many Indonesian students use this. Okay, so you have to remember you don't really need to put the word there are in every sentence when you want to say ada. Okay, although in some sentence you may need it, but you don't really, or most of the time you can just ignore it. Okay, so for example, there were three people who are authorized to use this machinery. You can just say three people are authorized to use the machinery. Okay, it's more simple and it's not Indonesian. Okay, There is one good way to handle this problem. Like I said before, okay? There is one good way to handle this problem. There is 3 ways to improve your writing skill. You can just say one good way to handle this problem is to ignore it. Okay? It was perfect evening for rocket lunch. So the evening was perfect for rocket lunch. Okay, that's you can see it by yourself. That's one common mistake used by students. The next one is use lively, interesting verbs. This is a very important tip for you in writing, especially if you are writing a story. Okay, so I'd say that if you want to move thought efficiently, work for precision, and look for verbs that create an image in the reader's mind, that's when you have to use lively, interesting verbs, which is you do not just use general or very common verb that is too general when you describe an action, but make it specific. Okay, so for example here, at my barber shop, someone does my nails and your shoes while your hair is being cut. Okay, ada kata does here, so there is a word does your nails. Do something to your nails. We know that someone is used do something to your nails, but actually you can do better by use a specific verb for this sentence. So you can say at my barber shop, someone manicures. So that's the verb, that specific verbs that you can use to describe an action related to your nails. Okay, okay. So that's you can use that's you can think of when you try to write, especially a beautiful paragraph like story. Okay. Okay, that's for this this chapter. I will move to the next one on the next video.